We've been to their place. We've seen their mock trial room. We've talked to them at length, off the air and off the record, about how they do their business. They meet people all over the state. They will come to you. They are very reputable. They have been very successful. They've grown this business from a very, very small one-room business to the big successful company that can defend you vigorously. They get results, and if you go to their websites, they have a tab that's called Results. They'll tell you exactly what cases they've won lately. They can tell you what they specialize in. You will get a rundown on the biographies on all the key attorneys who handle these things, and the long list of different kinds of injuries they can help you with, different parts of the body, different vehicles, different accidents, wrongful death. Again, I could sit here and read a million different categories, but if you're interested, just go to tsrinjurylaw.com, check them out for yourself. Nobody wants to need an injury lawyer, but when you need one, you want a good one. So check out 612-TSR-TIME, tsrinjurylaw.com.
Steve Terry here for TSR Injury Law with a reminder that no matter how much we talk about it, there are still distracted drivers out there. If despite your best efforts you get hurt by one of them, I need you to give us a call at 612-TSR-TIME. That's 612-TSR-TIME.
So let's go to Twitter, because a lot of the questions I have for you are also being echoed on Twitter. Having a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue here. Let's go to Jason Moore. Is Glenn Taylor waiting for Tibbs to make the trade before firing him? Butler cannot walk back in the locker room after his crazy act. As a former coach, there's no way I put Butler on the floor. I don't see a path for playing him. Does Tibbs plan on playing Butler? I'll say this. This would not be the first NBA team or professional sports team that had dissension or between players. It can be survived. It's not ideal. It can be survived.
Yeah, I had one person that I talked to and kind of bounced things off of that has a good hold of things, and saying that players do have an ability to compartmentalize, much more than maybe the average person does. I mean, you think about it, they play in front of 20,000 screaming fans a night. They're able to shut out that noise. And so it can be overcome. I think this would be difficult. I think it would be a tremendous challenge for them because they would be asked about it, and everything that they do would be scrutinized in a way that a lot of these guys who have been playing in Minnesota under a very dull spotlight for a while are not used to. Every time Jimmy falls to the floor and somebody doesn't run over and pick him up, that's going to be scrutinized as there's chemistry issues. Every slumped shoulder, every side eye, all of that stuff is going to be looked at closely, and that can be exhausting to go through. But I do think that the atmosphere in the arena, especially on that first Friday night against Cleveland, if Jimmy is on the floor and playing, is going to be toxic. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we were in Target Center for the lone preseason game last week, and Tibbs got booed by like 9,000 fans. What's going to happen when there's 15 or 16,000 fans in there?
Science says it'll be louder.
Yeah, it will be. It will be louder. So yeah, they're going to have to fight through a lot of that if that is the case. And I do believe that if they do start the season with Jimmy, I don't think that it's going to be a case of we're going to pay you to stay away. Like I think that they're going to say, hey, we're starting the season. Maybe you're not going to be ready to play 40 minutes a night right away. I mean, insert your Tibbs joke here, but I do think that there will be sort of an expectation that, okay, you're going to play, and we also are going to rely on Jimmy's competitiveness and pride in himself, that he's going to want to go out there and do a good job, and he's going to want to win, and so that. But the idea would be is that you play, and we kind of calm sort of the rush to make a deal a little bit, and then you hope that eventually another team says, okay, Tibbs really is that stubborn, and okay, so we better. If we want Jimmy for the most of the season, we better up our offer. That's the hope. That might be the plan with the Wolves, but this is always a two-team thing. Another team can look at it and say, all right, good luck, man. Go ahead, and we're going to watch this thing implode, and then we're going to give you even less. So they're in a terrible position right now. There's no doubt about that. And a lot of that is of their own making, but they are trying to sort of claw back any sort of sense of leverage or control of an uncontrollable situation. And we'll see how well they handle it. But it's going to be ugly. It's going to be bumpy early. But there is a possibility that once Jimmy gets in there, these guys settle in a little bit, they'll be able to navigate it as, maybe better than some people think.
Did Glenn make a mistake by telling Tibbs to trade Butler? Did they lose leverage in that process? And the other thing is, it's not like he announced it publicly, but he said it, and in the NBA, everything eventually gets out. Was there a miscalculation there, or is that just the way you have to do business? You have to be able to communicate ideas to each other.
Yeah, I think you have to talk about things. There's no doubt. And I know there's a lot of hand-wringing over leaks and things that happen, but just find any situation like this where things are not getting out and reported. That's what happens, especially in the NBA. And so, I do think that there absolutely were teams that were frustrated with the mixed messages that have been conveyed. One, Glenn Taylor saying we're definitely, we're open to trading him, and actually Layden and Tibbs saying no. At the start they were saying no, we see a future with Jimmy Butler. So, but you got to remember that for people saying that the Timberwolves are getting in unfair coverage of this, and their role has been unfairly scrutinized. Jimmy gave them all of these indications this summer, and I've reported it at The Athletic. And what they did was ignore those or say we're not going to do it. And so the only reason this has become public is because they didn't respond in the way that Jimmy wanted them to, and Jimmy didn't feel like this was going to happen. And so here it goes. We're going to blow it up this way then. It didn't have to be this way. What could have happened was this summer, after a very good season, and the writing is on the wall, they could have quietly gone out and tried to get a trade done, and then it would have gone like the Spurs and the Raptors, or it would have gone like other teams. And maybe there was a thought of in Tibbs's mind of, well, we'll just convince him to stay. We'll figure this out, and he'll be around, and that'll work. But that's where knowing your player and knowing the situation has to come into a little bit of effect here. And so this has all spilled out publicly, and things haven't looked good for the Timberwolves, and maybe some of the criticism has been a little bit one-sided, but they could have taken care of all of this earlier. And so that's more of, I think, the tone of the coverage is more of you guys, as much as Jimmy is a bad guy for doing this, which he has character concerns because of that, but you guys just didn't understand the gravity of the situation, and so now you're paying a little bit of a price for it.
SodaStick.com does great Minnesota sports themed apparel, local company, Minnesota company, and we like it when people order the basketball stuff. You use the promo code YouBetcha to get free shipping on whatever you order. So you can order the basketball stuff and use the promo code YouBetcha, but you can order all their stuff and get free shipping with the promo code YouBetcha. And really some of the cool stuff they're doing right now is football themed. They're if you follow them on Twitter, they have a really cool meme about the Linval Joseph Shades and Oxygen shot, which is so funny to see on Sunday in Philadelphia. I think you'll probably see that on some of their merchandise here soon. They also have John Randall t-shirts, women's shirts, youth size shirts, John Randall artwork, lightweight hoodie. They have Minnesota Born shirt. They have Randy the Goat t-shirt. They have Legend number 13, which is a Whalen t-shirt. Minnesota Hockey t-shirts. Valhalla t-shirts is obviously a reference to the Vikings. Hats, trucker hats, accessories, grilling stuff. They have so much cool stuff. Go to sodastick.com. Or you can go to sodastickco.com, but either one will get you to their website. Follow them on Twitter for their special runs, and you'll find all kinds of cool stuff that you can wear to a party or to a game. More Twitter questions. Tony Hoagland, our friend, sponsors a bunch of shows across the network and also sometimes co-hosts the Minnesota Sports Fan show on our network. Help me understand why Jimmy has or thinks he has any leverage. Did he set a Friday deadline?
I I have not confirmed that there is a Friday deadline, and he could set a Friday deadline if he wants. It doesn't matter. Like
right.
he can.
He really, yeah.
Yeah, he could. He tried to set a deadline by requesting the trade 3 weeks ago. How's that worked out so far? So that shows that he doesn't have an ability to dictate when a deal is done. But that said, the NBA players are more powerful and influential than any other group of players on the planet. And one of them can make an enormous difference. And these contracts that they have are guaranteed. And they also feel empowered to a level that I think most other athletes don't even, and certainly not in the NFL, but in a lot of other sports. And so by going this route, he's going to eventually force his way out of here, one way or the other. And he's going to get a trade. It just may not happen right away for him. And so, there are like if Kirk Cousins comes to the Vikings right now and says, I want to trade, they're going to say, no, it's not going to happen, and it's never going to happen. So just keep showing up. You can't do that with a star NBA player like this. You can do it with sort of the middling player or the bench player, but an elite star like this who's willing to go to the lengths that Jimmy is clearly willing to go to carry this through has plenty of leverage. Just he can't make a demand and say, I want to be out by Friday. I mean, that's one thing that Tibbs and Glenn Taylor can say, no, we'll get the right deal for us when we want to get it.
A couple more Twitter questions to go, some final thoughts, and a little more analysis about possibilities here. Do want to welcome Bite Squad as the newest sponsor of our Talk North podcast network. Bite Squad delivers food from hundreds of Twin Cities restaurants, including Delano's Pizza and Delano's other food, which I've ordered from here, and it shows up just in pristine condition, which I appreciate. Order online at bitesquad.com or download their app and get food to your door in minutes. For a limited time, they're offering free delivery to our listeners on your first order by using the code TALKNORTH. All caps, one word, Talk North, Bite Squad, food for your mood, delivered. From Kevin Gustafson, are Tibbs and Layden as dysfunctional as they're being portrayed? You've probably already answered that. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I guess I would just say that, yes, they are, they've been stubborn through this. I think they've made some mistakes in not understanding the gravity of the situation. But I also do understand that they aren't going to take pennies on the dollar for Jimmy Butler. I mean, they know how important he is. He had an enormous impact here last year. And I do think that some teams expected them to roll over in this scenario. Okay, the timing is bad. You have Glenn Taylor saying, let's trade him. So some teams expected, we're gonna fleece the Wolves, and this is gonna be great. And one thing that the Tibbs and Layden have done in their very difficult way of communicating with other teams have sown a few seeds of doubt. Like, are they really going to go through with this? Like, will they really do this? And I think that has crept in just a little bit. It's clearly worked with Miami a little bit because they put Josh Richardson on the table when he was supposedly untouchable. So there is some progress being made there. But yeah, it's they're not complete dolts, but they have not handled this thing very smoothly as well.
From David S., could the Wolves land D'Angelo Russell and Jay Richardson with a 3-team trade?
I don't think both of them with a 3-team trade is possible. If you just went straight to the Nets and said we want D'Angelo Russell as one of the main pieces of a Jimmy Butler trade, I don't know this, but I would guess they would say, okay, we can do that. But to get both of them that would be an unrealistic expectation.
From your favorite Twitter follower, Juan Stockton. Which would you rather have, Levine, Dunn, and Markkanen, or Josh Richardson, Bam, and a somewhat protected first-round pick? Am I misunderstanding the Bam thing?
Bam Adebayo.
Okay, yeah.
That's a great question. Because you look at, they gave up Levine, Dunn, Markkanen for Butler, and what are they going to get back to kind of recoup what they've lost? Richardson is like a poor man's Butler. He's not that level yet, but he's younger. He has a great contract, 4 years, $42 million. So in that respect, you might say he's at least as good as Levine, or maybe more, because you're paying Levine $80-some million right now, and he's a little more unproven. Bam Adebayo is a is a young, athletic defensive